Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 4 of the virtual 737 type course. Peter, welcome.
Hi, everyone. It is even greater to be here today than it has been the last couple of days, believe it or not. I am thoroughly enjoying this. So welcome, everyone. And if you're here on the Mentor Now channel, welcome as well. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, welcome everyone. It's great. So we're just going to give everyone a few moments just to sign in. But I was just literally speaking to Pedro and say what an amazing few days we've had so far. You know, from meeting such an amazing group of people from all over the world, every corner of the world, to sharing our knowledge of the 737. And taking you through that process that we've gone and kind of just hopefully added to the authenticity and the enjoyment of operating the 737 virtually. So welcome to all of you signing in. It's great to see so many of you here. And today we've got a treat for you. Today, obviously, yesterday we got airborne, we did engine starts and got airborne. And today we're going to we spoke about engine starts and how the MAX was slightly different. So today we've got a bit of a treat for you. Now, there's not it's not a MAX simulator for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 that's good enough to kind of demonstrate that I know of, at least. But we do have level D sims, 15 million pound sims, and they're great for demoing. So we're going to talk a little bit about a few things here today. Oh, we're going to look at starting the 737 MAX. Now, Petter and I, we probably, once the MAX came back into service, we were probably one of the first few to get qualified back on it. And there are a few differences. And I know I get a lot of questions about the slightly different start processes on the MAX, and it does take a long time. And a big part of that is something called BRM. So, Petter, if you're going to explain BRM, what is BRM?
So, one of the reasons that Boeing decided to upgrade the engines was to fit more effective engines on them, right? These engines are effectively quite a bit larger than the CFM56 engines were. These are LEAP 1 Bravo engines, and they're a little bit more delicate. Like everything that we talk about aviation, everything always try to get as light as possible and as efficient as possible. And as part of that, these engines are a little bit more delicate. And specifically, the engine shafts that runs through the whole engine from the very front in the fan all the way back through the compressors and the turbines. They in the LEAP 1 Bravo, as the engine warms up, gets warm at working temperature, and then comes back down on the ground again, and we taxi in, the differences in temperature actually makes those shafts kind of change shape a little bit. So BRM stands for bowed rotor motoring, and what it basically is that the engine will be running itself, kind of like a fan for a while, in order to cool down the shaft enough so that it will regain its original shape before we add fuel to it, so to avoid vibrations and to avoid stresses of the engine. Now, this was never a problem in the CFM56 because it's a much more rugged and less efficient engine. But on the LEAP 1 Bravo, this is something that has to be done. And it also has a quite significant impact on the engine start procedure.
Yeah, and it's something that we're training crews when we convert them onto the MAX. So what we're going to do is just show you and just talk you through how the start sequence is similar, but also some of the differences that we experience when we do actually start the engine. So we're going to take you through a little video. You can see the familiar start switches here, and I'm going to maybe pause it and just talk through as we go through. So we're going to start engine number 2 normally, as we do. So we're going to go to ground.
And now you know why we start engine number 2 as well.
First. You do. Exactly. And just very quickly before we let it go, you can see the screens are obviously a lot bigger, and it splits the screen down the middle. So we have the engine instruments on half of the screen. But otherwise, they're very, very similar. It's a kind of combination of the upper DU and the lower DU. But you can see that as we went to ground, in a very familiar way, we get the start valve open as compressed air from the APU gets sent to the engine to start it spinning. So this is all very much the same. And you can see now the N2 spinning up, the inner compressor spinning up. And this is normal until we see this. Now, we're now in BRM. The engine is spinning with no fuel or ignition, and it's sucking air through the front, as Petter said. And you can see the exhaust gas temperature cooling. And as it cools, that rotor that's slightly bowed is going to cool down and shrink and straighten up. And we wait until the motoring disappears and we're above 25%. And then only then do we enter fuel and ignition. So we're just waiting, and this can take a long time.
Yeah, a full engine start on an NG would take 40-45 seconds normally, and this motoring in itself can take that long. So
Yeah.
it is a significant wait that you have to sit, especially if you have a slot time, or if you're waiting, for like de-ice, like holdover times and things like that.
Time seems to go in slow motion, but yeah, the longest I've waited is 1.5 minutes of BRM, 90 seconds. So it does take a while. So it's cooling down, and once it senses it's good, you can see it start to spool up. The motoring disappears. We enter fuel and ignition, and then we look up, and the valves, remember from last time, they go bright as they're in transit, but rather than going out, that one stays open. It does a bit of a self-test for about 10 seconds, and then it goes out, and then we get ignition. You can see we've got fuel flow down here. We have exhaust gas rising, and it's spooling up.
And here you can also see a difference. You can see that the exhaust gas temperature, the EGT, is actually starting to rise quicker than the N2. Now, you wouldn't see this on the NG. On the NG, the N2 is always leading the EGT, but in the MAX, it actually goes up quicker, which is a bit scary in the first, because you kind of think, maybe I'm having a hot start, but that's only normal.
Yeah, and normally it would cut out now at 56% N2, but on the LEAP, it goes up to 63% before the start valve closes. So there's the click, start valve closes, and now we wait for the little red line to disappear as normal, and then we wait for it to be stabilized. And it's slightly different figures. We said 2, 4, 6, 3 in the NG, so 20%, 400 degrees, 60 and 3. We've got 2, almost 5, almost 7 and 3, so 2, 5, 7, 3. But it can take from start to finish per engine. The longest I've waited per engine is 2.5 minutes from start to finish,
which is not longer than the 40 seconds it would take. And I mean, it is irritating when you're in the MAX to do this, but it's even more irritating when you're in an NG and you have to wait to a MAX that has pushed behind you. So
yeah,
I mean, this is, it isn't, I wouldn't say it's an issue. It's just the way that the engine is. But it's definitely one of the most clear signs you have when you're flying it that it's different.
Yeah, and it's something that everyone's aware of. Thankfully, now when we first started flying it on the line, ATC and everyone was a little bit confused by it, but now everyone seems to be aware of it. And if there's a MAX starting up, we just know it's going to take the best part of 5 minutes. Yeah. But Petra and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse into the MAX there, a little bit of a slight differences training from the NG, as we did speak about it yesterday, and we did get a lot of questions about the MAX. So we just wanted to kind of share that little bit of a gem there with you, just to highlight that. Now, obviously, over the last 3 days, we've had quite an incredible journey. As we said, we've met so many of you from all over the world. And if you look at where we are now after 3 days compared to where we were on day one, if you think after all the live sessions, the Q&As, the workbook, that knowledge that you have now, even if you don't maybe realize it at this point, is far higher than what you had 3 days ago, which is quite something. And it's very rewarding for Petra and I to kind of see that. Now, if you think that we've achieved that in just 3 days, imagine if you could kind of extrapolate that and expand that out over like 7 weeks. Imagine if you could keep this journey going for like 7 weeks, how much more you would know, and think of how much enjoyment, how much confidence you would have if you put yourself in a position 7 weeks from now where we continue this journey. And it's on that note that Petra and I are very, very, very excited to open up a Pro 7 type rating. Now, this is pretty cool. This is something that we've only done once before, isn't it, Peter? We did this back in February, yes. I think it was.
We did this about 6 months ago. It was really, really fun to do because, as Ben is saying, when you stretch it out and you extend this type of course over a period of 7 weeks, there's just so much more time to really absorb the knowledge and to ask questions and to kind of go home and practice. So yeah, we did this about half a year ago. It was really, really fun, and that's why we decided to continue doing another one.
Yeah, it really is something quite unique. Nothing else out there like it. And it's something we don't do very often, if ever. So what is it? Let's sort of go into a little bit more about what this is. So first of all, if you want to secure your place on this, it's only open for a very limited time. You can secure your place by either going to airlinepilotperformance.co.uk or over to Mentor's website or in the link in the description.
There should be links everywhere in the description here and stuff in order for you to secure a place. Now, we only have this open until Tuesday, I think, and that's because we want to keep this a little bit tighter. It's easier for us to give the kind of value that we want to smaller groups. So we want to keep this a bit smaller. So for those of you, who think that this would be a cool thing to do, then head over and secure your place whenever you can.
And it's open. Yeah, it's open right now.
Yeah, it's open right now.
So what is it? Let's go into a little bit more detail. So it's an extensive 7-week course with Petter and myself. It's like what we've done now, but just like nuclear scale. It's epic. And what we found and what it does is that 7 weeks transforms your ability to fly online from maybe a bit of a novice, or having a half idea of what to do, into having a level of confidence that you didn't think you could achieve. We're going to take you through the full flight profile. So we've got you airborne, but we're going to show you climb procedures. We're going to show you various flight FMC modes, MCP modes. We're going to show you the cruise. We're going to show you how to use the flight plans, how to set up and brief descents, how to manage your descent. And then we get into real fun bits where we show you how to fly approaches properly, how to fly ILSs, how to fly Cat 3 autolands, non-precision approaches, how to fly go-arounds, how to do transit turnarounds. And we kind of pull that together towards the end, and we start doing some challenging approaches, which is an amazingly fun session where we get you out over in Madeira and we fly a really fun approach into Madeira in real time together.
That was tricky. That one is proper tricky.
Yeah, it's really tricky.
I mean, the whole idea behind this is really to give you the confidence that you need in order to feel like, if you're out playing WhatSim, for example, or whatever it might be, that you know what you're doing. Like, you know what you're doing. You've been taught by 2 type rating examiners what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, and how you're supposed to do it. And that's, this is the reason that we stretch it out over 7 weeks, because this is going to be a learning process. And after this learning process, 7 weeks is almost as long as the type rating actually takes in real life. Yep. So after this, you will feel like you're much more confident. You will have an enormously bigger understanding of how to operate the 737. And whatever questions that you haven't, been taught during the course, you can ask, because we're going to have Q&A sessions. We're going to have bonus sessions coming up. We are going to have loads and loads of fun, basically.
Yeah. And it's a great time. And people have asked, I can see, do you need a sim to do this? And the answer actually is no. We have people on the previous course that didn't have a sim, still actually, we're still in touch, and they still don't have a sim, but get immense enjoyment from learning about operations. So the beauty of it is we have these live in-person weekly sessions, multiple times a week if we need it to, in a smaller, more interactive group. The positivity we've got in the community here at the moment. It's like that, but it's even better because it's a much smaller group, and we get to know you. You get to know us. And from the previous course, that was 6 months ago. We're still in touch. We're still talking. We're still doing sessions, and we've built friendships, and it's an amazingly positive place to be. And as Petter said, we get those regular live Q&A sessions where we delve into a massive variety of topics of your choice as well. It's not down to me. This is very much us of what we do. And at the end of it, as we said, you're going to competently be able to complete full flights. So you can look at an airport and go, there's a non-precision there. I don't really know how to do that, so I won't go there. Now you can go, yeah, I'm going to nail that. I'm going to fly there. It's going to be great. And at the very end, once we've done it, you get a unique course completion certificate, something that you can show that you've done this with us and have a level of knowledge that not many people do. So we're going to get, when you sign up and enroll, you get a timetable for the course ahead. You're going to delve into tech topics in the bonus sessions and the live Q&As. You get the full virtual 737 type rating manual. So it's a bit like the workbook you've got now, but showing you all of the profiles. Everything kind of gets unlocked to supplement you throughout the course. We get to do the challenging approaches. How do you read them? How do we interpret them? What do we need to do with them? And at the end, you get an amazing certificate that's just down to you. And it's open to everybody. This is not, you don't need fancy sims. You don't need loads of knowledge. We've had people on the previous course that started out on this course with zero knowledge, no sim, and they've gone through it and they've loved every minute of it. And this is what you're going to get at the end of the course to kind of print off, put on the wall. And it's a real talking point, something to be very, very proud of, because it's something that you will have achieved. Now, we can go, this is open now. It's only open for a few times. You can gain access to all of this and more, just £130, which is about 150 euros. But when you break that down into the amount of sessions you get, it's actually less than £9 per session for 2 current Boeing 737 instructors mentoring you for the next 2 months, which is unique.
No, you never find anything like it. I can absolutely guarantee you that. But it's like it is really really good value for money. I mean, with the amount of stuff that we went through in the last course and the kind of feedback that we got from the people who actually did this course, I am very confident in saying that you'll never come across anything like this. It's super fun.
It is super fun for everybody. It was just an amazing experience, and it starts soon. We're going to continue this journey soon. Like, we're going to build on what we've already done. We're not going to let it slip. This is open until Tuesday, and then we turn our full attention to the Pro Virtual 737 type rating with all of those. And I can actually see on my phone that places are filling up quickly. I can see people signing up already, which is so Tom. Hi Tom, I can see you're signing up, which is amazing. Andrew, excellent. And we've enjoyed having you all so much in this group. And Petra and I would love to see you come across into the Pro course, get to know you better, build this amazing community of like-minded, positive people where it's a really safe environment where you can ask questions. You know me now. There's no such thing as a silly question.
No.
We will guide you through it.
Anyone who's been following the Mentor Pilot journey from when I started, I've always said that it always has to be positive, constructive. Like that is what this is as well. It's an environment where you can feel that you can ask any question that you want, and we are going to supply you with whatever answer that we can give you, and it's going to be a lot of them. Now, if you're watching this on Mentor now, if you're watching this, it means that the course is still open, because on Tuesday when we close, that's when we know how many people we have in this smaller group. Then these videos will be removed from Mentor now as well. So if you're watching this right now, it means that the admission is still open, and you can use the link below to gain access to it. And when it's not there, then it's not there anymore.
Yeah, we have to kind of put a limit on the time. We can't just keep it open forever, because we need a definite start and a finish point. And it is, you can learn at your own pace, because if you can't make sessions live, it doesn't matter. You'll have access to all of the resources. It doesn't mean you're going to be left behind. And once you're in, you're in. You can come and review this back, because all you have access to the videos in that group to keep and review back, along with all the other resources. And if you put yourself in the position that you're in now, and you actually put yourself in the position of you in 7 or 8 weeks from now, what you will know, as people that I can see here that are in the previous course will testify, what you will know, you won't even imagine, and the confidence and the enjoyment that brings when you go and virtually fly, knowing what you would know, it just adds a whole new dimension to flying virtually. It really, really does.
Yeah, it's a very steep learning curve, guys. So be ready for that. That's one of the reasons why we stretch it out in time, so that you'll be able to absorb it. Because we do know that with the the lesson we will be running 1 week, and with relevant Q&A sessions throughout the week, then to kind of align your knowledge. We know that if we do it that way, you will learn better, just like our cadets do when we do the real type rating sessions for them. So these are some testimonials from the people who went through the pro course last time that we ran it, and as you can see, like, they enjoyed it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Especially since it's a smaller group, we won't allow that many people in. It will be more. We will be able to focus more attention to individual questions and stuff like that, which I personally think is really, really important.
Yeah, it gives the value. We can't, we've got 6,800 people in this group, which is mind blowing. But obviously, we can't give that kind of value, the one-to-one, that kind of more personal in that group. So it has to be a smaller group. So we do have to, it is open for a limited period of time, and it is once it's closed, and we will turn our full attention to that. And I can see loads of people signing up already on this, which is amazing. We're really, really excited to get started with you and just build on what we've already learned over the last 3 or 4 days, which is such a small amount of time when you compare that to what we are going to be doing, going into the future. It really is something quite special. Now, if you sign up before midnight on Saturday the 7th, midnight UTC, you're also going to get some bonus workbooks. So I've created various workbooks over the last months where I talk you through what happens if we have some non-normals, if we have hydraulic failures, how's that going to affect the systems? What do we have to do? What do we think about? What about engine failures? How do we manage those? Upset prevention and recovery training, which is a really interesting topic, which means the aircraft isn't upset with you, but it just means that if it gets into a position that it shouldn't do, how do you recover? And it's a really fascinating topic. So if you sign up before midnight on the 7th, I'm also going to send you these for free. You get these as a bonus package, which makes some great bedtime reading. And more importantly, they deepen your understanding of the 737. You just build that overall awareness of what's going on.
So
it really is a great course.
We got a really good question on Mentor Now here, and said which times are we going to be running the sessions? And that's relevant, obviously, for a lot of people that are in the United States, for example.
Yeah.
We haven't really decided on this yet. It depends. I mean, we can have a talk to, depending on where the majority of the group is from. This is one of the benefits of having a smaller group, that we can see a little bit. A lot of people from America, maybe then we can kind of arrange our time a little bit. So we haven't set that yet,
No.
but we will.
And we will. And what we did last time is because we did have people from all over the world, from the States to Europe to Asia to Australia, we tried to mix it up a little bit. So obviously, like, the morning sessions are better for those, maybe if it's a weekend for the UK, Europe, Australia, because it'll be evening, but rubbish for maybe those in America. But then we do evening sessions, which is also good for Europe and the UK, but much more accessible to those in the States.
Yeah.
So we mix it up a little bit, and we have live Q&As at different times as well. But you can also obviously watch them back whenever you like, and you can follow us through. And that's what we tend to recommend, is that you watch us without your sim, so you can watch it, take some notes, and then play it back when you've got your sim up, where you can pause and replay, and that's where you get that real value. And when you consolidate that with a live Q&A shortly after, that's where the learning really, really happens.
Yeah, because that's what we do when we run normal typewriting sessions. We have a briefing, we have an actual session that will be something that you will be practicing at home, and then we have a debrief, which will be the Q&A session. So it follows the kind of normal learning that we do when we do normal typewriting courses as well.
Yeah, it does. And you're going to kind of gain all the access from that. So we're going to get some bonus content in there. We're going to look at fuel planning, interpreting different charts, real life past events. We've got loads and loads that we're going to be sharing with you in this. It's going to be the best part of 2 months of aviation field goodness that you share with Petter and myself. So we just wanted to pop that out there. This week isn't over yet, though. We've got a live Q&A tomorrow at a slightly different time due to my commitments with work and so on. But it's going to be at 10 UTC tomorrow. So we're going to delve into a load of geeky topics then. Petter's Nerd Bell will be going off, no doubt. And we've also got some bonus content coming up over the weekend and next week, where we're going to be getting back in the sim and doing some more topics in the sim, showing you how to use the aircraft even more than you have already.
So that's in the free course. This is in the free course that we're already doing. So there's no need to leave the course right now. You're going to see that there's more and more stuff coming here up until we close the group, when it's time for us to start focusing only on the pro course. So there's still more stuff to come here. No need to pay anything. But if you do want to secure your place on the pro course, then you should head over to the links, which are wherever they are here, depending on which platform you're on, and secure your place as quickly as you can.
Yeah, Lulu, I think very kindly has put a link in the comments. If you haven't heard it yet, it's airlinepilotperformance.co.uk. You can go there, or if you're on the Mentor channel, Petter's put a link in the description. It all does the same thing, but it's there for you to secure your place. And then we are really looking forward to bringing you into that group. And once you do subscribe into that and enroll in the course, I'll be sending emails out over the coming days with timetables and so on. So if you don't get an email immediately, don't panic. Once you've enrolled, you are in, your place is secure. But I will be sending more details out, all the goodies coming out in the coming days.
Yay!
Hey! And it's great to see so many people signing up. I can see loads and loads of people signing up here. So it's great to see you all joining, which is epic. So Ethan, great to see you. We're really looking forward to getting to know you better. Petter and I are kind of sharing this journey with you. And, we've made some great friends in the past. Yeah.
No, it's really, really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, on that note, ladies and gents, we are going to bid you a very good night. It's been, again, a real pleasure seeing you here today. I will see any of you who are around tomorrow morning at 10 UTC, which is 11 UK time, 12 o'clock European time, for a live Q&A. We'll delve into a load more systems, get the aircraft in the sky, maybe demo a few bits. So if you want to come and join there, please do. And we will see you in the next session. But have a brilliant evening, everyone, and we'll speak soon.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. This has been a blast. It's really been. So take care.
All the best, everyone. Bye.